Hi, my name is Kalani. I'm a student physical therapist with Midwestern, and we're gonna be doing some thoracic, wrist, elbow, and hand tests and measures today. So first we're gonna start off with central posterior to anterior glides in the T-spine. So I have my patient Jonah here, and I will be doing that. So Jonah, what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna find your level, T5, 6, and 7, okay?
Okay.
I'm gonna palpate the spinous process and I'm gonna push on it a little bit. Let me know if that feels uncomfortable, okay?
Okay.
Okay. T1, 2, 3, 5. Okay, ready?
Ready.
Any discomfort?
Not really.
Okay. So just assessing regular joint mobility here. Now, as I'm assessing T5, it's pretty normally mobile. T6, it's a little bit less mobile than T5. T7, it's pretty mobile. I would say comparable to T5. T6, T5. Now, if I wanted to do different glides, I would do grades 1 through 4. So I'm gonna just find T5 right here. And I am going to do a grade 1, so that's just within the first 1/4 of the motion, just back and forth, short little oscillations. Then grade 2, I'm gonna be between 1 to 50, so I'd go 1 to 50%. In grade 2, how's that feeling?
A little sharp, but not too bad.
Okay. And then in grade 3, you'd go all the way to 50 and then stay within the 50 to 75% range. A little bit longer oscillation there. And then grade 4, you'd go from the 75% range to the 100%, and it's short little oscillations again. So you go all the way down and stay within that little range. So that is a central PA glide. Okay, so our next special test is we're gonna assess range of motion in the thoracic spine. So we're gonna do flexion, extension, and rotation, just in sitting. So, and I'm gonna provide some overpressure at some of your end ranges, okay? So all that means is I'm just gonna push you into a further range of that motion, if that makes sense, and just assess for like how it feels at the end.
Makes perfect sense.
Okay. So what I'm gonna have you do is I'm gonna have you clasp your hands together, put them around your neck. Okay, and the first posture we're gonna have you do is we're gonna have you flex. So I just want you to keep your hips stable. We're gonna flex forward. Good. That's okay. That's good. And up. Okay, now that I've assessed your range of motion, I'm going to do the overpressure this time, okay? Ready and flex. Good. Still kind of stiff and fill there. Not a whole lot of range of motion through your thoracic spine, but that's okay. Okay, our next one, I'm going to have you rotate. So basically, you're just going to push your elbows one way and then the other way. Make sense? Okay. And try again to keep your hips planted. Ready and rotate towards me. Good. On the other side. Do you feel any stiffness one way or the other?
Both ways, just behind my shoulder blades.
Just behind your shoulder blades? Okay. All right, we're gonna have you rotate towards me. Yeah, okay, and then away. Okay. All right, and now I'm gonna look at your extension. So again, hips square, we're just assessing the upper thoracic back. Okay, and I'm just gonna have you tilt your elbows up, look up. And one more time. little stiff there, not a whole lot of range through your thoracic spine. One more time with elbow pressure. And feel is stiff. Okay, so now we're going to assess my own temporomandibular joint. So I'll just go ahead and show you. One more time. So I have an S-shaped curve because it deviates this way, and then it goes back when it goes back up. So it's not just a one-sided deviation, it's two-sided deviations. That's because I have a joint anterior displacement with the disc already sitting anterior. So I have a pop right before when I open and when I close. It's because of my joint disc. So now I'm going to measure to see if I am hyper or hypomobile. So how I'm going to do that is I'm going to put my measuring stick right at the bottom of my central incisor on the top, and at the top of my central incisor on the bottom. Okay? And that is reading about 6 centimeters, so 60 millimeters, which is hypermobile, because the norm is typically above 50. Okay, so now we're going to assess the wrist. We're going to do a volar glide or an anterior glide at the radiocarpal joint, and we're also going to do a dorsal glide at the radiocarpal joint. So I'm going to stabilize with my right hand up here, and this is Jonah's right hand as well. And I'm going to grab and stabilize, and I'm going to move the distal segment. This is going to be the dorsal glide first. So all we're going to do is go up, watching for the joint. And then we're going to do the volar glide next. So we're going to go down, still stabilizing. And now we'll show you the grade 1 through 4. We're just going to show you on the volar glide, just for repetition's sake. So grade 1 is like the first 25% of the motion, and we do short oscillations there. Then we go through the first 50 for grade 2, first 50, and then we go through 50 to 75, so you go all the way to 50, then go to 75, so not quite the full motion, and then so that's a longer oscillation, and then we'll go to the last, the grade 4, it'll go through 75, so you'll find 75, and then you go all the way to 100, right there. Any pain or symptoms?
Nope.
All right.
To state the findings that were in Jonah's dorsal and volar glides of the radiocarpal joint. He had more stiff dorsal glide, and he had more mobile volar glide.
Okay, now we're going to do a mid-thoracic grade 5 manipulation setup for the thrust. So I'm going to have Jonah start supine. Next thing I'm going to have you do, Jonah, is I'm going to have you cross this arm over your chest and this arm over your chest, lining up the elbows, because this is where I'm going to put force through, okay? Next thing I'm going to have you do is bend your knees right up here, and now I'm going to have you roll towards me so I can find that spinous process. Okay, now I'm going to do a skin lock right here, lock it in. All I'm going to have you do now is roll back over, just supine. Okay, now I'm going to find proper leverage, take up the slack, and apply thrust.